This lesson is going to be on solving log equations. This will be the first part of two parts. And in this part, what I want to do is tie together solving an equation like this to what we already know, which is solving exponential equations, which we've done earlier. Now on this, what I want to do is take this and I'm going to convert it into an exponential, and then we'll solve it. So if you look at this first equation, this is the base, this is the exponent, and that's the answer to the conversion. So if I convert it into an exponential, I get 4 to the third equals x. Now all I have to do is take 4 to the third, which is 64, and that equals x. Let's have you try this one. You try this one, pause the video, try this equation, see how you do, and then I'll come back and explain it. Now that we're back, let's go ahead and take this one. If we take this problem, what we do is we convert it into an exponential. This is the base, that's the exponent, and that's the answer. So 10 to the 5th power is going to equal x. If we take 10 to the 5th power, that's going to be a 1 with 5 zeros equals x. So we get 100,000 for our answer. All right, so let's take those two and maybe make it a little more complicated by involving fractions. So let's take and try these two problems. First problem I want to do for us is we're going to do log base 36 of x on the inside equals 3/2. And then we'll try log, and we'll do base 16 of x is equal to 5/2 and see how we do with that. Okay, so let's start with this one. I'll do this first one here. So we're going to do the same thing like we did before. I'm going to convert it into an exponential. So the first step is to take 36, put it to the 3/2 power, and set that equal to x. Now this equation, because that 2 is in the denominator, remember denominators mean and exponentials mean roots, so that's a square root. So I'm going to take the square root of 36 and I'm going to put it to the 3rd power because that's the numerator up there. That equals x. Square root of 36 is 6 to the 3rd power equals x, so x equals 216. Now pause the video, you try this one. See if you can do this one, and then I'll come back and explain it. Now that we're back, let's go ahead and try this one. So I'm going to make it into an exponential. So 6 to the 5/2 power equals x. That 2 in the denominator means square root, so square root of 16. I'm going to put that to the numerator power, which is a 5, equals x. Now let's solve that. Square root of 16 is equal to 4 to the 5th power equals x. 4 to the 5th power is 1024. So we get our final answer of 1024. Now let's try it what if the x that we have isn't there, but what if the x instead is in a different place, maybe as the base of the logarithm? Let's try a problem like that. So the first one I want to do here is I'm going to take log base x of 27 and set that equal to 3/2. And then the second one we'll try is log base x of 81 is equal to, let's do 4/3. Okay, now to do these problems, we're going to first of all set it up as an exponential. So this first one, what it will look like is x to the 3/2 power equals 27. Now that's a type of exponential that we've done some of these, but it's a little more complicated because I have to get at the x and it's got an exponent on it. Well, the key to doing this is whatever that exponent is, do its reciprocal to both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this x to the 3/2 equals 27, and I'm going to put both sides instead to the 2/3 power. Now what that 2/3 does for us is when I take and on this side do x to the 3/2 to the 2/3, you multiply those two exponents together and you get 6/6, which is 1. Here you get just x to the first, which is what we're trying to find, is what x is. And now I've got to do 27 to the 2/3 power. Well, the denominator's a 3, so I'm going to make that a 3rd root of 27. And then I'm going to square it because that's the numerator. So on the bottom, and for this next step, the 3rd root of 27 is a 3. Squared gives me a 9 for an answer. So you go ahead and pause the video and try this one. See if you can find an answer, and I'll come back and help you on the solution. All right, now that we're back, let's go ahead and solve this one. So let's take this one and let's go ahead and set it up as an exponential. So it's going to be x to the 4/3 power is going to equal 81. Well, the way to get rid of that 4/3 power here is I'm going to take both sides and I'm going to put it to the reciprocal power. I'm going to put it to the 3/4 power. That will get rid of the exponent on this side because 4/3 and 3/4, when you multiply them, gives you 1. So I get x to the first here. Over here, I get the 4th root of 81. And that's all to the 3rd power. Now, if you want to, you can factor out 81. Let me do that real quick. So 81 is going to be 9 times 9, which is 3 times 3, which is 3 times 3. 81 is 3 to the 4th power. So if I take the 4th root of it, I'm going to get just a 3. Then I've got to cube it, and so I get x equals 27 for an answer. So those are the types of problems where we want to do the logarithm by taking it and converting it into an exponential, and the variable might either be inside of the log or the base, and then once we get the exponential, we solve like we've been doing the exponential problems.